Now, we have our next guest speaker, Shalini Kocha, who is a modern luxury and lifestyle guru. She is a renowned author, blogger, mentor, and TEDx speaker. As a former Miss India finalist, Shalini combines beauty and intelligence with a purpose. Her first book, Shalini Says Women on Top of Their Game, celebrates 100 women entrepreneurs and their inspiring stories. शालिनी मोनाको में रहती है और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर महिला सशक्तिकरण के बारे में जागरूकता प्रदान करती हैं. So without any delay, let me invite Mrs. Shalini Kocha on the stage for you.
Thank you very much. Very good afternoon, everybody. We're at the fag end, and Lokesh was trying to convince me that the reason you're the last speaker is because we're saving the best for last. However, I don't agree, because I've been listening to these amazing speakers who have some real stories, and I'm just going to stand here and just chat with you all. Kiranji, it is so lovely to see you after so many years. Archana, thank you so much for having me here. Anupriya and Lokesh, very well curated, and all the speakers that I had the good fortune of listening to, I did shed a tear. Amazing stories and very, very inspiring. I hope I can bring about some emotion with my story. I am a very proud daughter of an Air Force officer, so I'm very proud to be here today, and it's deja vu for me to be amidst all of you, and I want to share a little dream that I did want to be a Fauji wife, which I'm not, but I'm very happy to be amidst all of you who are living this life and standing behind the warriors who are standing for our country. So thank you so much for giving me this privilege. I do have to also tell you why I always start my speech with a thank you, because believe it or not, I've had the fear of public speaking, and I'm still kind of like, I'm not so sure how I'm doing it right. But the one thing I did right from my childhood was that I would stand in front of the mirror and I would accept an award, that I'm getting an award for the Filmfare Best Actress. So when I said thank you, I got started. So that's the reason I always start my speech with a thank you. So thank you for having me here. Since I'm amidst this audience, I do want to do a bit of reminiscing. I come from a very humble beginning of an Air Force officer's daughter. And I think आप सबके घर में वो दीवान ज़रूर होंगे जो चार रंग के हम दीवान बनाते हैं. I don't know if things have changed, but that's how it was, right? The mothers always wanted to put their woolens in those trunks with those bad-smelling naphthalene balls, and we wanted to borrow those shawls of theirs. They were always smelling of naphthalene balls at a party. And when there was extra guests, even though we had so many rooms that the Army and Air Force gave us, we still had that divan, which some cousin was always put on. I also remember the Russian salad, which Russians don't know. But we do, because our messes and our parties always had the Russian salad. When my father retired, he would go to the bank every morning and he would sit with the bank manager, have a cup of cha, and update his passbook. Gone are those days when he would update our passbook. And I could hear my father, when he came back home, my mother would say, "Pata nahi roz bank kya karne jate ho, paise to hai nahi." So that's the upbringing I'm coming from. But what a services child learns is self-discipline. We learn people skills. We also are wired for new is exciting, because we are asked to move every 2 years of our life, figure a new life out for ourselves, and that's the way it works, right? Which is actually what makes me who I am today, because I believe that travel is the best teacher. There is no education that can give us what travel has done for all of us. So very, very proud again. Now I'm going to go on to my story. From the May Queen at the Defense Services Officers Institute to the Miss India. It was a turning point in my life when I had the good fortune of going for the Miss India in the year 1994, which was the iconic year when Asmita and Aishwarya took the crown away for our country and did our country proud. Yes, a big applause for all of them for sure. But guess what? I didn't win clearly. But it taught me a lot. Standing there in Goa amidst 24 contestants, each one of us being good to each other, but each one of us with our own apprehensions and anxieties, were competing with the other person. It taught me that we all fight our battles alone. There is no two ways about it. Even before social media and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc., I knew that there is a public image and there are some things that you just keep inside of you, and that's the way it is, right? So yes, what it taught me was that I want to make a difference. If this world is giving me a platform for me to make a change, then that's what I want to do. I want to make a change. But was that going to be? I didn't win the pageant, so clearly I was not the one going to go out there and make the change. But I said, I'm not going to be that extra standing on the sidelines. I am definitely going to be extraordinary. That was just a belief. Because I came back home with all my Bollywood dreams and just literally at an arm's length. But my father and mother had different plans for me, because my father, and I think this is something again you all will resonate with, wanted me to be married while he was still a serving officer, because he believed that he could give me the wedding of a dream, by getting married while he was still serving. And I said okay, because I did have a boyfriend, I was quite ready to marry him, and I succumbed to that dream of his. And I did believe that there was different strokes for different folks, because my brother did have different opportunities, and there was a different milestone that was set for me. But you realize, did I have the guts? I had the guts to say that I want a music system. I had the guts to say I want to fly off to see a friend in Bombay. But did I have the courage to say that I want to walk away and live my Bollywood dream? Maybe not. Maybe not. And that's the reason I didn't, because I was scared of failure. So when you accept reality and accept that you make those choices, believe me, life gets easier. But of course, this wisdom comes, as they say, with age. So today I can stand here proudly and say all of that, but at that point in time, oh no, that wasn't happening. Anyways, I got married. And when you feel that you have made certain compromises, because my father said, "Tum shaadi kar lo, fir uske baad jo marji karo." That's a myth. Let me tell you, that's an absolute myth. Because shaadi kar lo, uske baad, it's not your dream, it's our dream. So we have to do it together if you want it to work, right? So I said that, okay, I moved to London and I got selected by Models One, which is one of the biggest agencies in our country. But my husband was just not happy, because the contract said that no matter what the advertisement, whether it's lingerie or etc., you cannot say no once you're a model contracted with this agency. Clearly that wasn't going to happen. So it didn't. But as you keep killing your dreams, it has to manifest somewhere. And that's exactly what happened to me. How it manifested was that I got the fear of flying. And it started with something as simple as, actually not simple, with the fear of flying, moved on to me having the fear of even sitting in a car, going from one place to another, and then eventually even walking to a new place would give me the jitters that how am I going to do this? And I realized that it was the fear of the unknown. For 7 years, I felt redundant. First of all, I thought I was a star, and suddenly I was a mere model. And then after that, I was not working, not living my dream the way I wanted it to be. And it was just not falling into place. So for 7 years, I was just suffering this internally in silence, because nobody understands your fears. Until I spoke to a psychiatrist and I said, I need to fix this, because this is not how I want to live my life. And she told me to read a book which said, feel the fear and do it anyway. That was a turning point yet again, when I said, okay, I've got to face my fears. And what's the worst case scenario? I'm going to sit in a plane. If I'm going to die, fine, that's okay. It's better than living like this. Or I'll be in my pants. How bad can it be? So I started facing my fears. But it was from the frying pan to the fire. Doing all of that, having antidepressants, and a year and a half later, I didn't have any fears. I used to drive for an hour and a half to my job. I used to fly at the drop of a hat for work meetings. But I was 20 kilos more. And like Neelam said, that it doesn't really matter, but somewhere inside, it did to me at that point in time. It takes a while to conquer that. And it was a constant battle between the hot body and the hot paratha. I was like, where am I going to go from here? And I want to tell you all something. Your brain cells will die, your hair cells will die, your skin cells will die, but your fat cells, they don't have an expiry date. So I was on this constant struggle. At 20, I believed I would. At 40, I knew I will. And that's the day I said, I am going to do this, weight or no weight. If I have decided to make a difference, I am going to make a difference. And fortunately, I'm sure all of you have experienced that. When you decide to do something, there is always somebody that comes into your life who changes your life. And I met this very inspirational woman who told me a story. I know I'm taking a lot of time, but I must share. It's very short. I think you guys will like it as well. So there was this trader, Indian trader. I think all the changes happened with the Indians. So this Indian trader who went to Africa to buy some commodities, and he was in the jungle. And he saw these talking parrots. So he decided to capture one talking parrot and take it back with him to India. I think my friend here has heard this story and she's hearing it again. But so he took it back to India, put him in this beautiful golden cage, and he would feed the parrot and he would talk to the parrot, and it was a good life. And a year later, he had to go to Africa all over again. So he asked the parrot that I will be seeing your friends. Is there a message you want to give your friends? So the parrot said, yes, please tell them that I'm very happy in India in my golden cage. So the trader went to Africa and he went to the jungle and he told his friends the story. One of these parrots, the eyes welled up and just fell dead. So the trader says, oh my God, this must be his relative or friend, very dear friend. And he went back to India and narrated this story to the parrot. The parrot fell dead, his eyes welled up and he fell dead. So he took out the parrot from the cage, and as he was taking him out, the parrot flew out of his hand and went on the tree. So he asked him, how do you do that? He says, my friend sent me a message that sometimes you have to die while you're alive to change your life and get out of a prison. So that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I needed to do. Life is all about learning and unlearning and learning again. And that's what I needed to do. That was the inception of my jewelry brand, also supported by ladies like you who told me, you got this, you can do this. And I was able to. But my dream was still to make a difference. And I started a forum called Women on Top, which is what the book is about. I wrote about 100 women entrepreneurs, which gave me the luxury of getting to know some amazing women who are making such a difference in this world. And I'm able to today raise funds. I'm able to support women entrepreneurs. I actually help them through interdependence. I help widows, I support schools, and that's when my life had changed, because I decided to die while I was alive and make a change. Well, I thought I'd arrived and I was here and this was it, but life always gives you crossroads. And all I want to say is that when life gives you a fork, take it, because there's always a bigger plan. My husband came to me and told me that I have this amazing dream job with the World Athletics in Monte Carlo, and I was like, oh my God, I have to first check the map, like where the hell is this? But the choice was that either we live your dream because you made it, or we live my dream, but it's a we. And this time in my life, it was not me blaming my father or my mother or anybody, and I already had my biggest achievements, which were my children. I said, I'm going to make this choice because I can do this anywhere. And I moved bag and baggage to a country where I couldn't speak the language. Today, I sit there and I run my forum globally. I'm able to represent my country, and I think I'm doing a pretty decent job. I hope so, at least, that I am. And I'm very proud that I made that choice because it has changed my life as well. And I did not for a minute make my husband believe that I did him a favor. I made my choice, and my choices determined and decided what I was going to be. And I'm definitely one of the lucky ones that I didn't have to go to the Himalayas to find myself. I went to the south of France, lying on a beach with a glass of rosé, writing best-selling books, coaching people, and being able to raise funds to an extent that I can support the charities in India the way that I can today. So that was actually the biggest thing I have done and changed and turned around my life. So I don't mind an applause actually at this point. Before I leave, I do want to tell you there's a few things which I made, the changes that I made to my life, for the changes to happen to me. You know, when your body moves, your mind moves. The first hour of your day determines the rest of your day. For the same person who would party every night and wake up late in the morning and say, hey, whatever, was that person who woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. By 11 o'clock in the morning, I'd already done tons of things to change people's lives. So that's very important. I live my life in gratitude. I have a gratitude jar where I put a gratitude every morning for all the blessings I have and every evening. So by the end of the month, I have 60. And that's also because I've limited it to 2, otherwise it's endless blessings. So I would really recommend that a gratitude jar is something that we all should have in our homes. And today, hearing these stories also, I feel grateful and I feel blessed that, it's not been that hard for me, and it's actually, I don't know why I complain. Anyways. Also, what I want to share with everybody is that do not keep up with the Joneses, because for the longest time in my life I did that, right? And in fact, today's language, they say don't keep up with the Kardashians, because that's the trending thing. Kuch to log kahenge, logo ka kaam hai kehna, and we don't have to bother about that. You move your cheese. For things to change, you have to change. And last but not the least, ask Alexa. The universe is listening, and you don't know when amidst a billion gods, at what point one of our gods is going to say Tathastu. So ask Alexa. Thank you so much, all of you, for listening to me. It's been an absolute privilege to be here. Thank you very much.